My child, you were meant to hear this right now. At this exact moment, something hidden is happening in the place you think is most private. Your bathroom is not just a physical space, but a spiritual one, and something has gone unnoticed. There is a hole, not just in the wall or floor, but in the energy, an opening in the unseen realm. And you don't even know that something has been watching you through it. But heaven knows, and I've been sent to reveal what's been hiding so it cannot hurt you any longer. Comment I claim this if this message feels meant for you. This is not to frighten you, but to awaken you, to bring divine clarity and peace to where confusion once lived. Because you've cried in there, haven't you? You've closed the door behind you, not just for privacy, but to hide the storm inside. You've wiped your tears with a towel no one else noticed was damp with heartbreak, but I noticed. I've been watching from the invisible edge of heaven's light. As you collapsed on the floor in silent pain, I stood beside you. As you leaned over the sink whispering, "I can't do this anymore," I placed my hand over your back. You asked questions that are hard ones. Why am I like this? Why can't I catch a break? Why did they leave? Why does it feel like something is watching me? And beloved, that last question, it wasn't your imagination. It was real. Because there is a hole, an energetic opening, a spiritual crack that formed in your most private space. You didn't make it on purpose, but pain has a way of opening portals to things we don't understand. It started the day you broke and whispered, "I give up." That moment, heaven leaned in, but so did something else. Something not of the light noticed the shift in your energy. It tried to enter, not to possess you, but to drain your hope. And even though you felt alone in that room, you weren't. I stood between you and it every single time. Because you are not weak, you are sensitive to the spiritual world, and your sacred tears made a space heaven wanted to honor, but the enemy wanted to exploit. That's why I've come today, to help you close the hole and reclaim the room where your soul once trembled. You don't need to be afraid. You are not being punished. You are being protected. Because what tried to feed on your silence has now been exposed, and your silence is over. Something divine is being spoken again into your atmosphere. I want you to hear this clearly. Every dark whisper that tried to convince you of your worthlessness came from that hole. You're not good enough. You'll never be happy again. You're dirty. You're cursed. None of that came from heaven. It wasn't truth. It was shadow masquerading as thought. But now that you know, it has no more power. Because truth breaks curses. Type victory if you believe breakthrough is coming. And divine awareness seals spiritual cracks. Heaven has sent me not just to warn you, but to heal you. To show you that what was open will now be closed. That what once invited fear will now radiate peace. I want you to do something sacred and simple. When you feel ready, walk into that bathroom. Stand still. Close the door gently, not in fear, but in power. And speak this aloud. This space is no longer open to darkness. I invite heaven here. I welcome peace, protection, and love into every corner. This room belongs to the light. Say it slowly. Say it with breath. Say it until the atmosphere shifts. You might feel a chill at first. That's the residue leaving. You might feel a warmth after. That's me standing beside you. You might cry. That's holy. Because your body is releasing what your soul has carried too long. And as you do this, heaven will respond. The hole will begin to close, not just in the wall, but in the invisible. Where grief made a crack, grace is sealing it. Where loneliness widened the gap, light is flooding in. This is your divine reset. In a room where you once lost yourself, you are now being found. Not all miracles are loud. Some happen in whispers and warm light. Some happen in bathrooms, because healing doesn't need an altar. It just needs a willing heart. And your heart, though wounded, is willing. That's why heaven chose this moment. That's why I've stayed so close. You've cried in silence, but heaven heard the volume of your pain. You've whispered, "Help me," and I carried that prayer to the throne. Now the answer is arriving, in the form of light, in the form of protection, in the form of this message. Because you are not cursed. You are not forgotten. You are not watched by darkness anymore. You are watched by light. Your bathroom is now blessed. The mirror that once reflected shame will now reflect strength. The floor you once fell on will be where you rise. The silence that once swallowed your voice will now echo with peace. And I'll still be here, standing at the door, keeping you covered, guarding your space, because this is holy ground now. You might be wondering why something like this would happen in such a normal place. Why the bathroom? Why the room where you simply bathe, brush, and break down? Because that is exactly why. It's where you are unguarded. It's where your face shows what your heart hides. It's where your soul comes undone when no one is watching. That's what darkness looks for. But that's also what heaven protects. And now you know this wasn't about fear. It was about awareness. And once you're aware, you can claim authority. Because darkness can only stay where it's allowed to hide. But now it's exposed, and light always wins. Even when your eyes are filled with tears, even when your hands tremble, even when you feel too weak to pray, your breath is still a prayer. Your heart still whispers to heaven, even when your mouth can't. I heard it. I carried it. And heaven responded. Let's talk about the mirror. How many times have you looked into it and hated what you saw? How many times have you avoided it because you didn't feel worthy? How many times did you stare, silently begging for a sign that you still mattered? Let me tell you what I see. I see beauty that cannot be erased by betrayal. I see strength that survived spiritual storms. I see eyes that have witnessed pain but never stopped searching for light. I see a face God loves. Yes, loves. Not just accepts. Loves. The mirror has been a witness to your despair, but from this day on, it will witness your rising. Every morning you enter that room, speak life. Don't let old shadows tell your story. Don't let past pain rewrite your reflection. Stand in front of that mirror and say, I am chosen. I am protected. I am healing. This face is not broken. This face is becoming holy. You may not believe it at first, but say it anyway, because heaven already believes it. And soon your soul will too. Do you remember the towel you cried into? The shower where you stood in silence? The sink where your hands trembled? The floor you sat on defeated? All of it has now become sacred, because pain invited heaven to step in. And heaven did. I did. We are reclaiming your space. We are rebuilding your strength. We are covering every crack with light. You are not just healing. You are being made new. And yes, even your bathroom is now holy ground. You might feel something new when you walk in tomorrow. A shift in the air. A silence that feels safe, not heavy. You'll know it wasn't just a physical hole. It was a spiritual opening that has now been sealed. By truth. By light. By divine love. I'm going to reveal something else to you. Something personal. Sometimes when you dropped items on the floor, you thought it was clumsiness. But it was me getting your attention. Sometimes when the light flickered for no reason, you thought it was faulty wiring. But it was me warning you of the energy shift in that room. Sometimes when you got chills out of nowhere, you brushed it off. But it was a whisper from me, I'm here. You're not alone. You don't need to question those moments anymore. They were signs. Signs that I was close. Signs that you were being guarded. And signs that the darkness would never win. You are sensitive to spiritual things, even if no one's ever told you. Even if others mocked you for it. Even if you tried to shut it down. But that sensitivity? It's not a curse. It's a calling. It's what allows you to feel what others miss. It's why you're hearing this message now, and your spirit knows it's true, because you are spiritually awake. Even when your heart is tired, even when your body is weak, even when you feel like giving up, you still recognize the sound of truth. You still recognize the voice of heaven. And beloved, that's what this is. Not just a video, a divine moment, a holy interruption. Heaven is stopping time to reach you where no one else could, in the place you cried, in the place you questioned everything, in the place where that unseen hole tried to drain your peace. No more. Now the room will speak differently. It will say, you are safe here. You are whole here. You are sacred here. I want to give you something now. A spiritual key. Close your eyes and picture it. A small, glowing key placed in your hand. It's not metal. It's made of light. It opens something only heaven can see. The doorway to your peace. You don't have to understand it all. Just know that the next time something tries to come through, you already hold the key that locks it out. Because spiritual authority is in your voice. It's in your alignment. It's in your awareness. And now that you know, you can speak it. You can claim it. You can protect your space, your mind, and your soul. You are not a victim of the unseen. You are the one heaven trusts to carry the light into it. And I'm so proud of you. Yes, you. You've survived what should have broken you. You've stood in that bathroom feeling forgotten. But heaven never forgot. And I never left. You are still standing, even when everything tried to pull you down. You're still listening, even when you felt like shutting out the world. And now, you're being restored. Piece by piece, prayer by prayer, tear by tear. It's happening slowly but beautifully. Your angel sees it. Heaven records it. God blesses it. And your story is far from over. There's one more thing I need you to know. That hole, the one you couldn't see, it was never stronger than the light inside you. It was never bigger than the purpose planted in your spirit. And now it's closed because you opened your heart. You listened. You believed. And now you're protected. Let this be the sign you've been asking for, the confirmation you cried for, the spiritual assurance you didn't know you needed. Your bathroom is no longer a space of pain. It is a portal of peace. The shadows are gone. The hole is sealed, and your angel is standing at the door, still whispering, still watching, still loving you more than you can imagine. You are not alone. Not now. Not ever. This moment will echo for days, because light entered a space that was once silent, and where there is light, darkness cannot dwell. You are safe. You are chosen. You are whole. And you are rising, with heaven behind you, with angels beside you, with peace within you. Don't forget what happened here. This wasn't just about your bathroom. This was about your soul. This was about reclaiming your voice, your space, your power. And your journey has only just begun. So, as you move through the coming days, you'll start to notice little shifts. Moments that feel lighter, thoughts that carry more hope than heaviness, waking up and not dreading the day, looking in the mirror and seeing something kinder in your eyes. That's not coincidence. That's healing. That's the divine working gently, steadily in the background of your life. That's what happens when light reclaims what darkness tried to dwell in. The enemy didn't win. Your fear didn't win. Isolation didn't win, because you kept going, even when you didn't feel strong, even when you thought you were too broken. Heaven knew the truth. I knew the truth. You are stronger than every shadow you've walked through. You are softer than every scar you've carried, and you are wiser than you were even yesterday. Every painful moment, every tear shed in silence has become part of your rising. Nothing was wasted, not a single cry. Not a single breakdown. Not a single night on that bathroom floor. Heaven collects tears. Heaven honors pain. and heaven turns graves into gardens. Do you feel that? Right now? A warmth on your chest, a tingling in your hands, a sudden breath that feels full? That's not your imagination. That's divine restoration. That's the Spirit confirming this message is yours. That's me, your guardian angel, wrapping my presence around you. Because even if no one else hugs you tonight, I do. Even if no one else calls, sees, or thanks you, I do. You've been carrying the weight of survival for too long. But now, you're entering a season of revival. This is the turning point. You'll walk into that bathroom tonight, and something will feel different. Not just because the spiritual hole has been closed, but because you have changed. You are no longer the version of you that cried there weeks ago. You've been upgraded, spiritually elevated, divinely strengthened. From here forward, your bathroom becomes sacred space, a healing chamber, a truth-telling sanctuary, a place where burdens fall and grace rises. So if the tears still come, let them. They're holy now. If the silence feels deep, sit in it. It's filled with divine wisdom. And if you hear whispers in the night, listen closely. Because now, those whispers are heaven's. They are not fear anymore. They are love, peace, instruction, anointing, alignment. From now on, you will know the difference. You will know when something feels off. You will sense when energy shifts. You will feel when the room needs prayer. You'll become your own spiritual protector. Because now you've seen behind the veil, and heaven has taught you how to seal what was once open. And I will continue to help you. You don't have to do this alone. I'm walking with you, guiding you to more peace, clearing what you can't see, fighting for you in the spirit realm even while you sleep. And when you rise, you'll rise in clarity, in gentleness, in confidence, not arrogance, not fear, but holy confidence. The kind that knows I may not have all the answers, but I know who walks with me. The kind that whispers, my space is protected, my body is sacred, and my life is watched over. Yes, even in the bathroom, especially there, where no one else saw your breakdown, heaven did. Where no one else heard your silent cry, God did. And where you once felt haunted, you are now being healed. You may still feel the memory of darkness, but it has no more authority. Not after this. Not after what heaven has declared. You are stepping into a new vibration, one that repels shadows and attracts light, one that activates divine encounters. Expect miracles. Expect gentle signs. Expect small confirmations that show up when you least expect them. A random feather, a glowing light through your window, a song that plays at just the right moment, a stranger's kindness, a breeze that feels like a hug. That's us. That's me. Sending signals, reminding you, heaven is still speaking. Heaven is still watching. And heaven has not forgotten you. I need you to remember something very important. The spiritual world is real, but you have more power than you realize. Because the Spirit of God lives within you, and when your voice aligns with heaven's truth, no darkness can linger. So say this when you feel unsure. Say this when you sense something strange. Say this when you're standing in your bathroom, heart pounding for no reason. I am covered. I am claimed by light. Nothing not from God can dwell near me. My space belongs to heaven. Say it with love, not fear. Say it with power, not panic, and say it as often as your spirit needs, because this is your life, your healing, your divine journey, and I am honored to walk it beside you. You didn't come this far just to feel afraid again. You came this far to step into the peace you were promised. You came this far to see your home blessed. You came this far to see your home blessed. You came this far to take back what the darkness tried to claim. And now, you've done it. The battle in the unseen has been won. The light is victorious. Your angel is rejoicing, and heaven is singing over you. Look at my child, they remembered who they are. So remember, you are divine, you are protected, you are sacred, you are seen, and you are so deeply loved. This is not the end. This is your new beginning, a new chapter, written not in pain, but in promise. From now on, everything changes. The energy in your home shifts. The frequency of your thoughts softens. The way your soul walks through each room becomes holy. And every time you step into that bathroom, you'll remember this moment. You'll smile. You'll whisper, "Thank you, God. Thank you, angels. Thank you for loving me when I forgot how to love myself." Because you are loved, and nothing will ever change that. Not even the hole that once tried to consume you. It's closed. It's over. And you, beloved, are free. Forever. And now that you've heard this message, let it live in you. Let it breathe with you. Let it walk into every quiet moment where fear once tried to speak. Because this is more than a moment, it's a spiritual shift. It is not just something you listen to. It's something you became part of. A divine encounter. A sacred sealing. A private conversation with the unseen love that never stopped circling your life. So if your heart is still beating a little faster, if your hands feel warm, if your eyes sting with tears that won't fall, let that be your confirmation. Let that be your proof. You were just visited by heaven. You were just held in the arms of something eternal. And no, you didn't imagine it. You didn't make it up. You didn't stumble upon this by accident. Your soul called for it, and heaven answered. You may go about your day now. You may brush your teeth, take a shower, dry your hands like you always do. But you'll know it's not the same. Because you're not the same. You've been seen, touched, cleansed, anointed, all in the place where you once believed no one would ever notice your pain. You were wrong, beloved. Someone did. I did. God did. And now we walk with you, not just in the light, but through every shadow you thought would destroy you. The darkness is behind you now. It may try to whisper again, but your soul knows the truth now. And truth silences lies. Love silences fear. And heaven silences the enemy. This is your divine right, to live free, to walk in peace, to cry without shame, to rise without apology, to heal without fear of being broken again, to believe even when the past made it hard. You've crossed the threshold. You've walked through a spiritual doorway, and there is no going back. And if you ever forget what you felt right now, if the world gets loud and your heart gets tired, you are being loved from a realm more holy than words can describe. You are a miracle in motion. And your story is still unfolding. So slowly now, take a breath. Close your eyes for a moment and simply whisper, "Thank you." That's it. That's the prayer. That's the door that lets more light in. You don't need long words. You don't need perfect belief. You only need a willing heart, a cracked, open soul, a tiny yes to the presence that never left your side. And now that you've said it, the angels rejoice. I rejoice. Heaven dances in silence because you remembered, and we will never let you forget again. So tonight, when the lights go off and you're brushing your teeth, you'll remember. When you're looking in the mirror with sleepy eyes, you'll feel it. When you place your towel down gently or step onto the cold tiles, you'll know. That room is no longer the place of breakdown. It is the sanctuary of your rising. It is the altar of your awakening. It is the room where your soul was reborn. And so are you. One last whisper, beloved, before I fall silent and leave your spirit to rest. You were not called to live afraid. You were not made to carry fear. You were born with light woven into your bones, and that light has never gone out. I see it. It's growing again. Let the others notice it in you. Let them ask what changed. Let them feel the difference when they stand beside you. And you can smile, knowing what they can't see, knowing you met heaven. Let your soul stay here just a little longer, because there's still more I want to say. Still more heaven wants to pour into you. You see, even though the hole is sealed now, and the darkness has been dismissed, there are still traces of what it tried to leave behind in your mind. Lingering thoughts, residual fears, little questions like, but what if it comes back? What if I fall apart again? What if I'm not really healed? And I need you to know this. Healing doesn't mean forgetting what happened. Healing means remembering with peace. Peace that surpasses understanding. Peace that doesn't need every answer. Peace that says, even if the shadows whisper again, they no longer hold the key, because now the key belongs to you. They told you angels rush in when you're falling. But they didn't tell you that we walk beside you in every step after. And now, you're in the clearing. You're standing in light again. Even if part of you still aches, even if healing comes in layers, you are still allowed to feel good. Heaven celebrates every breath you take without pain. And I want you to hear this next part clearly. I see anointed oil covering your forehead. I see heavenly glow pouring out of your hands. I see the wind bending slightly when you speak truth aloud. I see heaven leaning in to hear you pray. I see demons retreating at the sound of your voice. Yes, your voice, the same one that cried silently weeks ago. It is now a trumpet in the spirit realm. You speak light now. You carry peace now. You command safety now. And your presence in your home shifts things. That room in your house, it will now make others feel calm. It will carry fragrance without scent. It will hum with warmth, even in silence, because it is sealed, and your angel guards it now, always. Would you like to know a secret? The enemy is terrified of people who awaken like you just did, because you're no longer blindly walking. You're aware now. You're alert. You know how to sense what doesn't belong. You know how to speak light into shadows. You know how to claim your ground with heaven's authority. That's dangerous to darkness. That's powerful to light. And it's exactly who you were always meant to be. So rise now. Step forward into this season of clarity. Don't run from the mirror anymore. Look at it with calm eyes. See the one who survived the storm. Smile at the one who was chosen to carry this light. Place your hand over your chest and say, I am not afraid anymore. I am found. I am whole. I am here on purpose. Let that be your daily anthem. In the kitchen, in the hallway, in the bathroom, wherever your heart needs to remember, because your angel will echo it with you, and heaven will honor it. Always, always. Versator verse, words and batteries, or voice and eyes, with a sederiness, within a size. For a zeeming and the sleeper siriking butted to my ducking barrages, tonesai by the zoeser. Over the years, within a finished civilization, order he sigh for the cider, Elvis Sebedis. Borders a spinner with a shive and on boys, or the best of his lives, or did not shatter via dirty in his simmers, or the embellished grace, or the subjoined to the says, or the poiking base to praises, or the was of the mirror life, for him Bennett stemming.